Hello and welcome back to the Culture Queen channel. Thank you so much. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about identification, plant identification. There's free food everywhere, free medicine. The nature provides us with all kinds of wonderful herbs, and sometimes we just sort of lost the ability to identify. So I guess, here and there I'm going to have videos on some plant identification, because that's like just a basic herbal thing that we can do. And there's a lot out there that we can actually eat, what's edible, what's not. Even I don't know what's all out there, because there's so many plants on this planet, and it depends on what region you're living in and all that. But here in Canada, here in BC, there's some herbs that I just sort of picked some stuff, different types of herbs that also may be found in North America and as well in the UK and in other places. They're sort of more common. And some of the health benefits that you can get from some of them. So the first one, really easy, is mint. Smells good. You usually know it from the smell. Yeah, and you can crush it up with your hands and just like get a really good smell, and it's like, okay, mint. And it has a little bit of serrated leaves. They're a little bit rounded, fuzzy. There's a lot of different species of mint. Mint, of course, is great for the tummy. It's awesome for the tummy. It's great for your circulation. Sometimes when I'm feeling nauseous, having some peppermint or mint tea is really helpful. I don't have any peppermint right now. It's kind of doing whatever, not so great, but the mint is going crazy. And I'll show some close-ups of the leaves of what it actually looks like. I'll show that to you. So crush some up or cut it up. You can dry it as well, and then put it in in a pot with a lid on. So whenever you make a tisane or you make a tea, keep the lid on so that all the components don't get evaporated when you're making a tea. And I make sure, of course, I'm not a doctor. Make sure that this, the herbs that we're using here, you check with your doctor to make sure that it's not going to react with anything that you're taking. Again, this channel is about sharing ideas. It's about, things to look into. It's about researching, just things to think about and good ideas, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm going to think about that. I'm going to ask my doctor about this and see if this is going to work for me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, this is for people with chronic conditions, for people with terminal illnesses, people who are going through some stuff, if you've got injuries or whatever, yeah, I'm your man, or your woman, I should say. And yeah, so it's really important. Anyway, so sage is great. And look, it even has this beautiful purple flower, and eventually that flower will turn into a seed pod, and then you can harvest it and plant it anywhere. This is not white sage, like I said, that you see in the really, really super dry climates. This is a different type of sage. So there's different species. I'm just doing the basics of what I have in my garden. And this one is great. It has these big leaves. The smell is amazing. It makes me think of Christmas time and turkey dinners and all that thing. Yeah, one of my favorites, but it's an antimicrobial. It's a germ killer. You can use it if you're like, say, you make some sage water, right? And again, you put the lid on, right? And I'll put videos, don't worry. I'll have a video on making sage water, because sage water is fantastic if you get night sweats, if you have menopause, if you are on your period, and you get those, sometimes I would get sweats when I was on my period, whatever. Sage is great. So you boil the sage, you keep the lid on, you boil it pretty good, like for a while, and crush up the leaves. You can cut up the leaves, and then you let it cool, and then you put it in the refrigerator. You bottle it, strain it, and you put it in the refrigerator, and then you just sort of drink a little bit of it every day, like maybe a couple times a day. I would say, just for regular sage water, maybe half a cup to 2 cups a day, right? And over time, you'll notice you're not sweating as much, and it takes about a couple weeks. And that's the thing with herbs. Herbs take a little longer for the body to respond. It's not instant gratification like you do with a pharmaceutical, but you get less side effects, right? So if you're patient, herbs can really work, right? They can help out. And again, every form of medicine has a place. Every form of healing has its place. If you're in some sort of chronic and you're in an acute situation, obviously you're going to go to your medical doctor and talk to them about what's happening, right? Always have that open communication with your doctor. But in the meantime, yeah, the First Nations use sage to smudge. And I love the smell of sage. Fresh sage is probably one of the most beautiful smells you can possibly have. Sometimes when I'm sick and I was in the hospital, I had sage essential oil there, as well as lavender, because it stinks in the hospital and I can't stand the smell if I have to go. So yeah, this is great. Wormwood. Oh, wormwood. This one's great. This is a anti-parasitic. So it kills parasites. You know, you kind of have to, you know, look up, you know, because there's a number of species of this, so you have to look up your dosage and look up sort of how to use it for anti-parasite. Depending on the species of the plant, what country you're in and what region and all that, and also what level of growth it is. Is it already bloomed? Is it super small and just new? Blah, blah, blah. That all has a factor in the strength of how it's going to work. But wormwood is great. A little bit of wormwood in tea, a small amount, works great. And you know, one day I'll get into sort of more videos elaborating on some of these herbs. But yeah, and this is what wormwood looks like when it's dry. Check it out. And what you want to do with it is you want to kind of dry it. I just dry it upside down, like the herbs you see behind me. You dry it upside down and in a dark place if you can. It still works in a sort of like dim place, but no light is better. But I don't have a place where I can do that, where it's sterile. But anyway, I like this particular herb, and I use it for, I don't know, maybe I'll have some wormwood tea once a week if I've been on the bus or I've been running around. Then yeah, I'll make sure that I have like just a little bit on a regular basis to keep my system clear. Okay, so this looks like dandelions, right? It has the same thing as dandelion, but this is called chicory. Excuse me, chicory or Italo rosa. In the World War II. In Italy, people were starving. There was a lot going on during that time, and there were some families that actually survived just by eating dandelion. This type of dandelion leaf, and the one that has the big, huge leaves. Italo rosa. I'll put the notes in the description below. These types of plants are great. I grow it everywhere I move to. Because in the event of an emergency, this stuff is great. It's great for edema. It's great for minerals. It's good for, I mean, there's a huge list of things that dandelion is good for, and as well as chicory, different species and stuff you need to look up depending on your region again. But I like to just put this in a salad. It's bitter, so beware. Yeah, it's bitter. You may or may not like it, but it'll do in a pinch. If you're starving and things are whatever, and you see a bunch of this growing around, make sure you don't get it around train tracks, because they usually spray pesticides in those areas. So if you do forage or do wild crafting, meaning you're looking for herbs and things, make sure you get it in a clean area where you're pretty sure they're not spraying with pesticide. Elecampane. These beautiful, huge leaves, so gorgeous. Look at that. This is fantastic. These are great. This is a lung herb. So in my garden, I have a whole section for different things. I have cardiovascular herbs that I put in one. I have a lung herb section that I'm trying to cultivate. The cardiovascular I have to redo because it didn't get enough light. But the lung ones did great. So I have elecampane. I have another one called curly cup gumweed. Isn't that great? That's such a crazy name. And other mullein and other lung herbs. I also have another one, feverfew. I'll bring them out as they grow enough. If they grow big enough, I'll show you some of those plants later on. But these are the ones that are doing really great right now. And anyway, so elecampane looks very similar to comfrey, and it looks similar to mullein, but it doesn't have the fuzzy leaves that mullein has, right? It's sort of like, we'll just do like a little close-up of this leaf here. Mash it up, and you can make a cough syrup out of it. It doesn't taste good. It's gonna be nasty, but it's okay because you just do it because you know, it's free, it's here, you can just boil it, make a tea, and yeah, and you can try and make it taste nice. I'm not very good at making stuff taste very nice. Like when it comes to herbal medicines, I'm like the nasty herbal medicine girl. I'm sure there's people out there that have a better handle on making stuff taste like Kool-Aid, but I don't have that skill. So anyway, I just get it done, right? And this is L-Campaign when it's dry. Oh, it's just a car driving by. Yeah, so this is what it looks like when it's dry. I hung it upside down, and then what I do is I put it in a bag. My dream is to have a big shelf where everything is in labeled glass jars, where I'd be like, yay! But I don't have the space for that at this moment. I don't have any way to do that. So, because I hate the fact that I have to put this in plastic. Boo. You don't really want to be storing your herbs in plastic. You don't want to do it. You want to store them in a cool, dry place, but for now, it'll do. This is what I got. It still works. I still find that I still get really good quality herbs from it and teas from it, but it's not the best, right? You know, it's not the best way to go about it. And lastly, we have here is horseradish. That's what I'm just trying. My brain isn't working. You'll notice that I ramble, and if I ramble, please forgive me. My brain. I'm over 40. Okay, so here we go. Horseradish. Now, horseradish is spicy. If you recall, if you've had horseradish before, it's usually the root that we use. The horseradish root is mashed up, makes different sauces. People use it to eat meat. It's great for pain, believe it or not. It helps somehow for the pain receptors. Really weird. It has a lot of health benefits as well. We'll have a whole video on horseradish when it grows a bit more later on, and what you can do with it. I just break it up and put it in a salad because I like my salad spicy and a little bitter, and then I add like berries and fruit and stuff to sort of sweeten it up, and then I have an acidic dressing with it. Yeah, I'll make salad for you guys too. How about that? Stuff in the garden, a free salad from stuff that I've harvested, because there is lots and lots of free food out there in this world. Really nice. This is catnip. It's in the mint family, and it's great for the tummy. Now, obviously, cats go crazy for catnip. They go insane for it. I'm not sure why. There's something in here. It's like cat cannabis or something. I don't know, but it's in the mint family, so it has a similar smell to the mint, but not quite. It's a little bit different, but I like it for my stomach. I take it mostly for my tummy, and it's drying here, man. So I just like hang it like that, or you can hang it in a thing or whatever, and then you're good. So anyway, so there you go. So there's herbs, really quick thing for just herb identification, and the idea that, yeah, there is some food out there, there's medicine out there. Learn about these things. It's important for your health. It's important for your friends and your family, your children, to know what's out there. And especially with the prices of food, it's crazy what we have to pay for food. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but here in Canada, it's a fortune. So it's really important that you know how to do different types of food, and that you know how to cook, because learning how to cook, you know how to take, my aunt could take a rock and a shoestring and make a meal for 50. That's Depression era cooking, and that's a whole section that I'll be doing videos for shortly. So you can save some money, honeys. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you. Please, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. And yeah, this is Culture Queen tuning out. See you in the next video.